Hi friends, my name is Jose Luis. This time I'm going to show you how to make a bench. Very nice. I'm going to leave the measurements in the featured comments. I hope you like it, and let's get to work. These would be the strips for the sun's rays. Which would be 35, 34, 41, 54, 60, 66, and 72 centimeters long. The 35 centimeter would be the center of the sun's ray. We will mark all the rays in the same way. We will make marks at 3 centimeters and 3 centimeters and join the dots of the marks. Wedges would be made of 1 by 7 centimeters at each end. That 9 centimeter wide board we mark with a circle with a diameter of 20 centimeters. That would be the center of the sun, and we begin to mark the leg of the bench. We grab 35 centimeter strips. We mark it 23 centimeters down. There's 6 centimeters, 6 centimeters, 12 centimeters, 12 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 5 centimeters, 5 and 5 centimeters, and 1.5 centimeters. We raise the little leg. There we open it with a ribbon. We put it square and mark it. Then 8 centimeters, 8 centimeters, and we also mark it with the square, and we close the line with the circle for the leg. Then we put the nail 44 millimeters from the edge, 4 millimeters from the edge, and we take the ruler and mark the curve, and then we remove the nails, and we close the curve with the circle for the bottom leg. To this strip of 7 centimeters wide, we mark it in width and thickness, and draw a line with the square. We mark this board of 1 meter 29 centimeters in the center. We mark it at 5 centimeters and 5 centimeters. At 12 centimeters we mark it with the square, and we nail it at 5, at 4 millimeters. We take the flexible ruler and mark the curve. Then, we take out the nails and close the curve with the circle. To the 2.3 centimeters by 2.7 centimeters strips, we mark them to make a small recess, and we begin to cut. We cut this very carefully, leaving the line, and we cleaned it. This would be the section where the ribbon would go on top, where the other end of the sun's rays would rest. This, which would be the center of the sun. This is the piece where the center of the sun would rest on the board. Always leaving the line, to be able to remove it with the sanding roller, so that it is not just over the line where we made the mark. And we cut the wedge too, leaving the line that we can later remove with the gallop or with a gallop. There is no downside. Here we are going through the pieces at a gallop, always making him grab a little, very little. It is even better to go through it twice to ensure, and then I pass the sanding roller on all the edges that I can, without squeezing, so that there are no holes, because if it is pressed excessively, undulations are created on the edge. That is why I pass it very slowly, delicately, without squeezing, coming to the line. In any case, after we finish passing everything through the machine, we go on to sand by hand on all the curved edges, and also simultaneously we are going to take the edge out a little with the manual sandpaper. It can be 80 or 60 sandpaper. Later, we are going to go to a molding of 1/4 of a cane, just small. This piece would be the center of the sun. This would be the side of the outside of the leg. And to this ribbon, we are going to pass it through the machine only on one of its sides, which would be like a kind of skirt from the bench seat. Likewise, we will do the same to the seat at the top. It would be the most beautiful part of the bench. There we remove a small recess of 4 mm by 4 mm, which can be with a table spindle or a router. There would be no problem. So the 4 mm by 4 mm recess would remain on one side and the small molding would remain on the other side. We are going to start marking the center of the 1.29 meter strip. We do it with the ruler. The line is very subtle and we make 2 marks 9 mm from each side of the line we made. We locate the center of the sun and center it, and we mark it gently. This is how the sun's rays would go, and we are going to make the perforations. These screws are 65 mm long. They have to be long enough to go through and grab the upper part of the bench leg, so we spot it with a 3-point bit more or less. And there we begin to place the center of the sun. As we already had holes in it from above, we spread the vinyl glue on it, and we put a screw on it. We cleaned the remains of the glue and centered it well. We make the holes with the guide bit and screw in the other 2 screws, and make sure that the cut is even, and we also make sure that the legs fit more or less loosely, because otherwise, it can break the narrowest part at the bottom of the leg, in that we have to be very careful and make an adjustment with a rasp, always testing. We have to keep trying, and place it when we see that it fits loosely, neither loose nor tight. Ready. There we mark it at 2 centimeters, we put vinyl glue, oh excuse me. This way is wrong, we have to turn it around because the center of the sun has to be up. In this way, there would be 2 centimeters left over from the tip, and we nailed it. We check again and measure that the 2 centimeters are correct, and we make a hole with a 4 millimeter guide bit, and we put 65 millimeter long screws, because we remembered that the leg must be attached to the upper part, so that it is completely firm, and of course we make sure that they are square. We also center the strip that would go on top, and we apply it, we put vinyl glue and screw it on, and we clean the remains and it's ready. Now we will assemble the other half of the leg of the bench, and since we already have it marked, we continue with its application. We clean the remains of the adhesive, we make sure that the bracket is on the leg, and we place the other screw. As we already have basically everything marked, it is easier for us. We put vinyl glue on it and insert a screw, and of course we always make sure that it is square. We place the other screw. In the center we place the ray of the sun that would be the 35 centimeter rod. We center it well, we make holes, we put the glue and screw. I am going to present all the rays so that you can visualize how they would look. I show you again, they would be 35 in this order. 3, 41, 54, 72, 66, and 60 centimeters long. We mark the vertices with a ruler. The vertex of the one at the top, that is to say from the outside, we make a mark at 7 centimeters in the center of the beam that will serve to guide us. I draw some lines to mark where the adhesive will go, and we screw it. And we place again another of the rays, leaving 2 centimeters at the tip. We share it with the others, and we mark to place vinyl glue and make holes. We screw. We make sure that the reference 2 centimeters remains, and we screw, again 2 centimeters, and we screw. For the other half we also share it, and we always leave a fragment of the rays outside the cedar strip on the upper edge. We repeat the procedure. We mark, we drill and screw. Later, we repeat the process for the other side. We are guided by the side that we had already marked, and we have to mark to cut the leftovers from the upper part. To the side were the leftovers of 2 centimeters. We can count on a jigsaw or a handsaw. Once we have everything cut, we pass the orbital, or we can also sand by hand. The upper part, where it would rest on the seat, would be hidden. Once we have everything ready, we sandpaper it by hand to remove the lint. And we place the center of the sun on the other side. For this we center them well. We drill from below, we put vinyl glue and screwed it. In this way half is ready. We also put glue on the other half where the sun's rays would rest. I control with the square that the two legs are in line. I drilled holes with the 4mm guide bit and screwed it. I do the same procedure on both sides. I also check that the upper part is in line, and I put 2 clamps on it so that they stick against the sun's rays, and there it is ready. Now this would be the top of the bench. I show you how we will place the skirt. I already have it cut at one end, at 45 degree. I'm going to mark the other side, and cut it with a miter box. I even it out on an extreme, also on the side, and then I made a hole with the guide wick. In this part one do not put vinyl glue. I am going to make holes for 5 screws. I presented it and I mark it to cut the other end at 45 degrees as well. I cut it again with the miter box and I drill it with the guide bit, and I only put glue on it at the 45 degree junction. I present it evenly and I screw it and place all the rods of the skirt. Once it is ready I sand it. It can be with an orbital or also by hand. I remove the edges and it's ready. I place the base of the bench that would be the support for the lower legs. I center it. I drill a hole with the 3mm guide bit and put the 38mm long screws in it. And that's it. Good friends, the bench is ready. It was very nice, very resistant. Any questions you have, comment and I will be answering. If you like it, give me a like and see you in the next video. Bye bye.